Welcome back to 3D Sounds. I'm really excited about this video because here in my hand is the new Zoom H2 Essential, and this is my first time using a recorder like this. Now, if you're looking for something unique and versatile, then we hope this video is for you. How we will structure this video, just like in our previous videos, we will take the recorder out into the field, record in various environments and switch between the front and the rear microphones. Plus, we're also going to listen to the mix. I will also include this time a section where we apply noise reduction so you can really hear the difference. But instead of going over all the technical details you may have heard in other videos, let's trust our ears and decide for ourselves whether this recorder is for us or not. Quick disclaimer, this isn't a sponsored video and we're not affiliated with Zoom at all. We bought this recorder here in Thailand for around $180, but if you're in the US right now, it should be around $160 US. Also, I was checking the price in Japan, and if you have a US dollar income, you can get it for around $130. So please get your headphones or turn on your speakers, and I hope you enjoy the sounds and scenery here from Chiang Mai, Thailand. Just look at the view, beautiful. I have everything set up. Now how we're going to listen to this recording is first we listen to the front, then to the rear, and then to the mix. We really love this location here with the white bridge. There might be a train coming up soon, but what we're doing is we're going to head out to the train station and then we're going to record the trains with this microphone. And just talking about the setup really quick, we're using the Ulanzi light stand here as well, and it is just so light. Everything is so light, and for me this is fun to record, but really make sure that you have a suspension kit that helps you with shock absorption. Just like the Zoom H3 VR, I think the concept of this recorder is incredible. Like, it's very simple, it's very easy to set up. Maybe this recorder is not necessary for field recording purposes, but we can use it for it. And that's what I like about all these kind of tools that are available for us to record sounds. And we made it to the Chiang Mai train station. If you follow our channel, then you know I love to record sounds, especially at train station. And train station in Thailand, for me, they have something very special. I think they're like warmth, and they have some sort of nostalgic feeling that I really enjoy. Something that you don't really have in other train stations around the world. It just starts with the building itself. And what's going to happen here right now, or just in a little bit, is that this train goes to Bangkok around 3:30, and then in the same moment, a locomotive will pull out, pop, 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 and then takes this train over there, which is the night train to Bangkok, and this one goes back in here. Let's see if I'm right. Libby, let me give you the phone and the timer. Now imagine the train is leaving in less than a minute and we don't have time to set up all our gear, and all we have is the Zoom H2 Essential. Let's see how fast it takes me to set everything up and be ready to record.
Yeah.
Oh, the train is leaving. And I don't have enough time. What will I do? There it is. Whoop. Zack. Take this off. Turn it on. Which side? This side. Woo! And record.
All right, that is 27 seconds.
27 seconds. Woo! So what's happening now is the train is already coming slowly back, and then later tonight it will leave down to Bangkok. But we're not going to record this, we're not going to show you this. We're going to head out to a new location. And we made it to one of our favorite locations here in Chiang Mai. It's not very well discovered for many people, but you have the best view at Doi Satep. I know it's a big space for a small recording device like this, but now let's have a listen how it performs right here on top of this parking lot. The sun is coming out, it's getting a little brighter up here, but I hope we could record a nice morning ambience here from Chiang Mai, mixed together with bird chirping, the pigeons on the roof, and we have the traffic. So what's coming up next? We're gonna wait for Greg, and then we do an audio test with our voices, with the front and the rear microphone. Thank you so much, Greg, for being back here on our channel on 3D Sounds. We have the Zoom H2 Essential, and now what we're doing is we want to try out how the mono function works when we talking with this recording device. Greg, I recorded yesterday trains, and my decision was like, should I do 90 degrees or should I do 120 degrees? When do you think I should change these settings?
Good question. You're recording on the platform, right?
Correct.
So you're recording the trains going past you. You're very close to the trains, maybe 1 or 2 meters away.
No, I was in the middle, so they were the train. I would say about 3 meter distance.
Okay, you could choose either really. It depends what you want to focus on. I would be going for the wide, the 120, because I want to capture as big, I want to make the train as big as possible.
I don't know, I think I already made a mistake because I had it on 90. Is it a mistake or not?
If it sounds okay, it is okay, you know. If I was doing it, I would go for 120 and listen. And if it was giving me what I wanted, great. If I really wanted to focus more on, say, that wheels on the track sound, that I might try 90 and maybe going closer. But, you know, either way, it's not a big difference between 90 and 120.
But if you have only one chance, you know, oh my goodness, the train is leaving in like 3 minutes and I have to be on another train and I only have the chance between 90 and 120. Which one would you decide?
I'd go 120.
120?
For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
How close is too close and how far do you think is too far?
Proximity effect. The rule for proximity effect is 30 centimeters with cardioid microphones. This has cardioid here, bidirectional in the middle. With the cardioid microphone, 30 centimeters is the point where the frequency response at low frequencies stays flat. We get closer, we get a boost of low frequencies. As we get further away, we lose, I'm doing a matrix thing here, we lose low frequencies. And so that's how it works with cardioid polar response. So when we're doing field recordings with cardioid polar response and we're at a distance, we just have to accept the fact that we're going to need to boost the low frequencies in post-production unless losing the low frequencies is beneficial, like we're not recording anything with low frequencies, bird sounds or something, where the lack of low frequencies is beneficial.
And we learned something new. Thank you so much, Craig. And now let's get back to the video. Good morning, everyone. We have made it here outside of Chiang Mai in this little reservoir. It's about 7 a.m. right now, and the idea is to use the Zoom H2 Essential together with the Roland binaural microphone just to see how the line input performs. Also on the Zoom H2 Essential, we have the option to turn on and off the plug-in power, which I believe we don't have that option on the, hello, good morning, on the Zoom H1 Essential. Now, if you're using contact microphones or anything that doesn't require phantom power, then I think it's great that you have the option to turn it off. Because I don't know how much it could affect your recording device if you have plug-in power all the time on, even if it's only 2.5 volt or 5 volt, but maybe it could damage your device, but here we can turn it off and on to our discretion. Now the sun is almost out. I really had to focus that I don't fall back asleep. Now what we're doing is we're gonna take it and we go a little bit further into the open fields, and then we do a last recording using the front, the rear, and all together as a mix. All right, this is now a really interesting spot because what we're doing is we're gonna record the front with Deutsche Tap, and then in the background we have the traffic, but it's quite far from the highway, but there's some faint sound and now people going to work. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna turn on the front microphone and the rear microphone, and then we do 120 degrees. Okay, we have it all running. Yes. Always make sure you have the hold button on just in case. I think we have enough sequences for this video, so now let's pack everything up, head back home and talk a little bit more about this tiny, mighty recording device. So what do you think about this device? For me now, when I review this device, like, I'm not a professional sound engineer and I'm also not a professional gear reviewer. And I don't want to sound like somebody who hypes gear, but I also don't want to find anything negative, just to sound a little bit more credible. Because when I was out there using it, I had a lot of fun. And that's what matters to me the most. Using it, enjoying it, and having a lot of fun. But now I would like to talk with you a little bit more about this device and the features. Now, when I talk with Greg about this device, we both like, wow, there's a lot of technology in here. And if you have a Zoom H2N, you may think, hey, but this one had 5 microphones. Here we have 3. But what we have here is we have a cardioid in the front, a cardioid in the back, and we have a figure 8 for the side. And where do we also have such configuration for microphones? There aren't many devices out there that have that. Maybe there's not even a single one. But what we have here is something similar. This is the Schoeps double mid-side. We have this here in the Sinella Pianissimo. And just comparing the price, here we have something under $200. And here, this is $7,500 without the recorder. If you're adding a recorder, let's just say you have a Mixpre 6 or you have a Mixpre 10, which was this one, or you have even a Scorpio or whatever, you can easily get up to $10,000. So now we have some sort of similar technology which we have in here in this tiny device. Now, if you want to use this recorder, you can decide between stereo and also MS RAW. One moment. And when I record with the Schoeps microphones, I have, for example, one WAV file, and then we have the mid, the side, and the rear in one WAV file, and then later I can use a Schoeps plugin, and then I can output a 5.0, or I can create a complete different stereo image. I can rotate the sound within the sphere, and maybe there would be something interesting that we could integrate in a firmware update, because right now we have MS RAW, and maybe it is somehow possible to have a one channel output, like one WAV file, but with all 3 channels in it. Like, say you have the front, the rear, and the side. And then later we could even use the Schoeps plugin in order to create another complete different multi-channel output. The sound quality, I think, is just fine for whatever you want to use it for. I can't say anything negative about it, but let's talk about the line-in really quick. First off, you can turn on and off the plug-in power. So this is super handy for microphones that don't need it. And you can even record with the Roland mic and the front mic at the same time. So this works if somebody has this question. But here's another question that I found on another YouTube video, and that was about, can you record an MS RAW on the front mic and stereo or mono while using the line-in at the same time? And according to the user manual, I looked it up from Zoom H2 Essential, it says MS RAW isn't supported when using mics connected to the mic line in jack. Recording will be in normal stereo even if MS RAW is selected. But here's where things get a little bit more interesting, because I did a test. And just by looking here at the WAV files, when you look at track 1, this is a regular stereo recorded on the front. Then on the track 2 and 3, we have front raw and line. Line is the binaural microphone. And then we have track 4, which I recorded a different time, is MS RAW. And just by looking at it, it looks like that we can record with the line and an MS RAW on the front at the same time. And then after I created out of this MS track and the regular stereo track, it just sounded like a really nice balanced stereo image. So I could be wrong, maybe I'm not. So it looks like that it works, but maybe if a Zoom representative watched this video, maybe you can give us more clarification, or maybe you can change the user manual if it really works. Sorry about the rain, it just started. Maybe it stops in just a little bit, but we have a tin roof outside in our garden, so you may hear this. Let's talk about auto record function, because if you're wondering whether this recorder has this or not, yes, it does. So let me show you this really quick. All what you need to do is you go into the settings, you activate it, you adjust the levels, and then you activate it by hitting the record. Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo. And then it turns on. Now imagine you want to record birds and you decide to hide this recorder somewhere in the forest, and this feature is perfect for that. You just need to adjust the start and stop levels. However, it would be even better if you could select the levels and actually see the dB values on the device. Right now, you kind of have to guess where the threshold is, but with time you will get a feel for it. So still, this seems like something that could potentially be added through a firmware update, so fingers crossed. Audio guidance. Another great feature is the guided audio function, which we also have on all Essential series recorders. Resetting time, I also saw on another YouTube video somebody was wondering about this, and I just tested it. So I recharged the batteries overnight and then I put them back in, and the recorder saved the date from yesterday. So all I needed to do was to adjust it to today. So it doesn't fully reset it to the factory default, but maybe this is something that could happen if you leave the recorder in the box for too long. Let's talk about noise reduction. In our last two sequences, I raised the gain in post, which then also raised the noise floor. And then I slightly removed it with a free denoiser from Tom. Now, when recording sounds, noise isn't something I worried about much. And I know that many other users don't really care either. And it's also nothing that would stop me from recording. But I feel like to get a better understanding about noise, we should talk with Greg Simmons. So let me ask him, and then we make a video about what is all that noise about. Now let's talk about wind protection really quick. As you have seen in the video, we always took it off and put it back on. And that is because the wind protection that we normally have, this is the one for the Sony PCM D100, and it fits perfectly. So I don't feel like buying a new one. But if you want to have one where you can access all the buttons here on the top, then Zoom has an alternative, but I'm also sure that one of the newer companies like Radios will definitely bring out an alternative so that you can either use what you already have or buy one that you can access the buttons here on the top. Also, just in case if you don't want to do it and then you're out there and you feel like, do I actually record, and you can't see it because it's covering up. Actually, when you hit the record button, you can see that now the waveform turns red. Let's talk about the batteries really quick. Here on the back is the battery door, which is very soft to open and close this. So make sure you don't lose it. And I'm using the LADA batteries just like for all my other devices. And I know more and more people are not fans anymore of these kind of batteries, and you're wishing to have interchangeable battery packs. So maybe in the future this is possible, but if you really don't want to use it and you want to use a power bank, then you can definitely do this here through the USB-C port. Now before we end this video, I can tell you already, this is not a recorder that goes into my closet. This one goes straight into my recording bag, and it will be a perfect companion with the Sony PCM D100, and I'm gonna use it a lot for my own field recordings and of course to create new sound libraries. We really enjoyed making this video because this is a recording device that makes me really happy. But if there are any questions that you have and I haven't answered them, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm really happy to answer, or we can also address them in our upcoming video, which will be a comparison between the Zoom H1 Essential versus the Zoom H2 Essential. So thank you so much for watching, and we can't wait to see you in our next video.